All right, guys, welcome back for our final discussion. I can't wait to hear all of your takeaways. Who wants to go first? Raise your hand and I will spotlight you and you can unmute yourself. Amy, are you saying yes? Or are you just adjusting something?
Sure. I guess the question that I always ask myself whenever I'm working on projects is not, could I use this, but will I use this? If it's comparing something in my scrapbooking stash, this product, would I choose to use this over the brand new Vicki Wooten Let's Wander collection that's coming in the mail next week from scrapbook.com? Would I choose to use this over that? And so that's kind of helped me to let go of some of these things, because sometimes I hold on to that guilt of like, oh, but I spent money on this, or I had intention of using it for this project or that, and I just haven't. But being able to let go of that guilt.
That's a great distinction and a great kind of teaser here. I do want to welcome all of those of you who are watching in the replay. This is the recorded part of the Your Way workshops. We discussed 4 questions tonight related to decluttering. Amy gave you a little bit of a teaser there. It was some great insight. We asked, do you find it harder to manage your clutter in your creative life or your home life? What category of item do you most need to declutter, and what makes that category challenging or tricky for you? What strategies are you aware of or have you tried to make decluttering easier or more fun? And what are some behaviors you might want to try in order to reduce future clutter from accumulating? All right, who has another lesson to share? Carol? All right, go ahead.
Of course, I can only remember the last one we talked about because,
That's okay.
But not to buy things anymore. I try really hard and just use what I have and not to go shopping and not to buy a lot of stuff. And I'm trying to simplify everything I do so I get more done because I have a lot to do. So I'm really trying to just use what I have, make it simple, tell the story, print the pictures, not worry about the fluff.
I love that. Great. And wait to just be mindful and keep it simple throughout everything you do. And I'm sure there'll be a trickle effect over to the rest of your life as well.
Yeah.
Or maybe the rest of your life is trickling into your craft room too.
Yeah, my craft room is the hardest. I mean, everything that was up here, it's just on the floor where you can't see it. Yeah. But yeah.
That's okay. I have a Monica closet. It's fine. I get it. So.
But I do a lot of projects that make a mess, and it's fun, and I like to do it, and I have a lot, I get a lot of joy out of it, but yeah, it generates a lot of clutter.
Well, yeah, and being mindful of your purchases is a really smart step. So that's one thing we can all do to just make sure we're only going to buy things we're going to use.
Right. That's why I thought I'd try something like this out, because I'm not buying stuff. I mean, we're talking and sharing ideas, inspiration without ripping open some new package of stuff.
I think that's why everyone at Simple Scrapper enjoys what we do here and enjoys our communities, because we are, as much as we do enable each other sharing fun products, we're so much more about the ideas and sharing of ideas, and sharing of that community spirit. So I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you. It's been fun.
Cool. All right, who is next? Suzana, all right.
Well, for me, when I found this group, I read your book. I got bought at my Amazon, and then the way you teach about our style make us everything so easy. Now I'm trying to. I just figured out what kind of style I like most, but I need to also evolve in this style. And I guess I want to use the errands as a strategy to clean up, use box. I need to also clean up my stash using box, say what is for donation, for to sell, give away,
yeah, that's
whatever.
A good strategy.
Yeah, I guess is the best way decluttering stuff make me more energetic and more clear with my mind. I get a lot of ideas when I'm kind of energetic or everything's clean. I need my house clean, but I'm not like crazy for clean stuff. I'm not, but I try to keep everything organized to make me easy for me to find stuff. And I guess I want to use the cart. I don't know where I read that. The cart, when you're doing a project, you can use that cart to put the stuff that I need for a project, and then move back in my wardrobe if I cannot finish on one day. So that's it.
So
Sorry.
that's a huge, you have a huge amount of tips there all in one thing. I think what really stood out to me was finding, once you do find your style and your approach to scrapbooking, whether that's the creative style you take or what formats you like to use, that can help you make better decisions about what you do need to keep and what you don't need to keep. So that's awesome. So I'm so glad you're here. Thank you. Okay, who's next? Monica? All right. Here you go.
I really like the idea of the container, like as a limit. So looking at where my things are and saying, this is where these are going to belong, and this is the space I have. So how am I going, what's going to go in there? And I realized I need, I like some white space. I like some open space.
Yes.
Which is funny because that's not something I did for a long time, scrapbooking. And I remember thinking, how can people put just one photo on a page? But there are days when I'm like, but I like this. This feels right. So, I don't know. It's interesting, the parallels between scrapbooking things and like real life. Like I would think my decluttering or my clutter level is about the same creatively and non-creatively.
Okay, sure.
I generally don't have a ton of chaos, but I think I can be more creative if I have a little bit less chaos in my life. And trying to not be a digital scrapper, you don't see the chaos. So
it's kind of hidden chaos, but I think your body and your mind feels it, even if you can't always see it.
Yes, yeah. So I definitely limit where I can look. Like, like if I were a paper scrapper, I would probably limit just the store or the whoever. So there's a couple of designers I really like, and I'm okay with. I like them now, and maybe in 6 months I'll like somebody different, right? Somebody else will come out, and that's okay. So I there are some places there's some stores that I know I would probably like, but I like where I am, and there's no room to add a store because I don't want to give up. So I kind of stick with those rules for myself.
Do you think you would use like a numeric container for, like, I'm only going to keep like 15 kits from this designer or something? Like, how would you create virtual containers? And maybe you don't have an answer, but I don't know.
I one of the things I have noticed though, because of the way I'm pretty organized with my scrap kit, is if the folder is really, really full. And there are a couple of things that I moved to like an older stuff. And I'm considering then maybe just deleting the older folder. If I go in there, I'll pull something out into the regular folder, and I may just delete the older folder and say, okay, I haven't looked at it. It's like you pack up a box and you don't go back to it.
I like that.
Staying within my themes that I do. I have one per month basically. And so then I keep bringing in the new stuff that I like, and older stuff that I'm not using can go there. So I'm thinking about, I'd like to limit it to however much spaces I can see on a page. So I'm not scrolling a ton to see
that helps.
Pages. So that's one of the things I've started doing.
Just that we talk about letting go a lot, whether it's digital files or even photo prints. Like, we have to be able to let go of the stuff because it's just there otherwise, and there'll always be more. And so it's just more unless we continuously let go of stuff we're not using.
Yeah, it's harder when you have more, digital storage is not as obvious. It can be hidden away. And computer companies are getting better at saying, well, let us just archive things you don't use very often. Let's just
Oh,
your way.
I do not like it when they try to be helpful.
Yeah. So
No, I want the control over all my files.
yeah.
Thanks, Monica. All right. What else? Kim, all right.
So this is one thing that actually Amy brought up when you were talking about how to make things more fun or easier. We talked about like music or podcasts or timers, but she also brought up the idea of doing before and after photos, which I do
Ooh.
and find very satisfying.
Yeah.
And she was part of like a Facebook group, but we also do it just within like the Simple Scrapper membership. Or I mean, if you're really brave, you could just put it out there on social media, I guess. But the idea of like taking a photo and saying like, this is what I'm working on, and I will check back, you know, in an hour or tomorrow or the end of the weekend and show you how far I've come. And I think that is very satisfying, and it can be very motivating because you can see the progress, right? Because it's right there in the photo in front of you. So
It's like it's visual progress and accountability rolled into one when you're sharing it.
yeah.
So I love that. Thanks, Kim.
Yeah.
All right. What else? We have 1 minute remaining for one last final takeaway.
I have something. So this is Kendra.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay?
Oh, sorry. You're not on video. That's fine.
I'm not on video. No, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
Go ahead.
We had talked about if you clean your space up after you're done, so it's clean, it's much more inviting to go back. And in order to make it cleaned up, you know, you have to declutter it to begin with. So cleaning up so that when you come back, or even having your next project out, gets it going. So then that way you've set up your next project with all the supplies and the embellishments and things you need. So then, you know, ahead of time, you're ready to go. So if you're doing that ahead of time, then you might find out things you need and don't need.
Yes. No, and you have two great tips there. It's the cleaning up can be so important because, you know, you may be in another room, think, oh, I don't want to go in there because then I got to put stuff away. But then if you take that next step of even like start preparing, or even if it's your next session and you're preparing for your next project, you're like, oh, there's that thing. It's waiting for me over there. I can go jump in right away. So anything you can do to get the ball rolling is really helpful. Thank you. All right, friends, this has been so fun. Thank you for joining me for the Your Way workshop for this month. Next month's theme is photography, I believe. Yes, that is correct. Yeah. I am excited for this one because I think we're going to be sharing like some different ways of looking at photography. And I think especially this time in our lives, using photography as a tool for gratitude and a tool to stay excited and motivated and connected to our stories, and a tool for self-reflection. So I'm really excited about this month, and I will see you guys soon. Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Goodbye. Thank you.